From the heart of America to the corners of the globe, welcome to Voices of Distilling, powered by the American Distilling Institute. Unearth the stories, the passion, and the faces behind every drop. Dive deep into the world where tradition meets innovation. With me, your host, Ronnell Richards. Let's tap into the spirit of distilling, where every voice is unique, but the heart remains the same. Let the journey begin.
Welcome back to Voices of Distilling. My name is Ronnell Richards, and I am your host. And I gotta say, this gentleman that we have here today, he needs no introduction. So but I gotta give him an introduction anyway. But let's start with this beautiful award that you brought.
Let's start with this.
So I'm joined by Jackie Summers, who is really, truly a trailblazer in our industry. And I'm not going to tell your story because you tell it way better than I do, but we're going to start with this beautiful award. You just won Best in Class. And tell the audience what you won.
So it's Best in Class. It's the second time in 3 years we've won this particular award. So when we won it this year, someone from the audience called out again. And I will tell you that this is a conversation I've had with my team because in the last 2 years, we've become the most awarded American-made liqueur of all time. And the question that we face is, why would we enter this contest again? And my feeling is, beat me. I feel like I'm a defending champion now.
Well, you kind of are. I mean,
right?
Listen, people don't ask Tom Brady why he kept competing for Super Bowls, right?
Like if I can win, then I should win. And if there's someone out there better than me, then they should win. But beat me first.
I love it. I love it. And by the way, your liqueur is beautiful.
Thank you.
And I had I was able to enjoy it at our spirits competition. I got a little off the side, and as the judges were doing their job, and I'm like, man, I didn't judge it, by the way. So yeah, there's no pool here. I'm just a guy sitting on the side. I'm the marketing guy. But yeah, beautifully done. And can you tell the audience a little bit about the story behind it? Because I've heard it, and I'd love for you to share that in your words.
So there's two parts to the story, and the second part starts in 2010, when my doctor discovers a tumor the size of a golf ball inside my spine. He says you have a 95% chance of death and a 50% chance of paralysis. If you live, you should organize your paperwork. I mean, I lived. It'd be an awkward conversation if I hadn't.
No doubt.
But it'll adjust your perspective. I was given a gift. I got to step back and look at my priorities in life. And I had 25 years invested in corporate America, but I don't want to be in an office in the middle of the day. I want to be in a bar. I want to hang out with cool ass humans, middle of the day, middle of the week. I want to talk, I can't cuss, can I?
Well, listen, far be it for me to tell Jackie Summers what to do.
I want to have a good conversation and good food and want to monetize it. And when I couldn't think who was going to pay me to do this thing, I reached into my culture. My heritage is Caribbean. My mother's parents came from Barbados. My father's parents came from St. Kitts and Nevis. They arrived in Harlem in 1920. My mother's father was a chef. And there is this beverage that they make in the Caribbean called Sorrel, Sorrel. I grew up with it. I've known a version of it all my life. I made a version of it in my kitchen for friends and family for almost 20 years. I never understood why no one had tried to make a shelf-stable version of this product. I chose to be the first person to attempt this. 623 failures in my kitchen to get the recipe right. To this day, the 1,000-gallon batch that is now done at Laird's, my principal distiller, is based on my 2-gallon kitchen recipe. But that history dates back thousands of years. You could go back 4,000 years, and Africans were using hibiscus for medicinal purposes. It's antioxidants, antimicrobials, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, vitamin C. It's a natural aphrodisiac. And this becomes part of African culture. There's a reason almost the entire Afro-Caribbean diaspora has what they think of as an epigenetic memory of something we call the red drink. It's based on this red flower. And then you skip forward 500 years and the transatlantic trade starts. And now bodies and spices are being stolen from Africa, shipped across the ocean in the bottom of boats, and sold in ports of trade in the Caribbean. And when I tell you that they did everything they could to strip those humans of their identities, they kidnapped people, they broke up families, they changed their name, their religion, their God, they beat them, they raped them, they forbid reading. But because that flower will only grow in the equator band, they end up in the same place where they're being sold as this flower. They plant this flower and they start making this beverage to remind themselves of who they are. There are no recipes for centuries because the people who are making it aren't allowed to read or write. Mm-hmm. So for me, to be able to share this story for the 20 generations who would have loved to, for my grandparents, for my parents, for everyone still making a version of this at home, like, this is for the culture. Started in the kitchen, now we here.
You know what I love? I love, first of all, your energy, but I share your commitment to an appreciation and respect for ancestry and what you're representing in that bottle. And I think that is one of the, in this chair that I sit in, one of the coolest things that I get to see is folks like you that represent their families, represent their culture, represent their heritage in that beautiful liquid. And
the beautiful part for me is it's not my story. Mm-hmm. I get to be the custodian for this generation. I get to tell the story, but it doesn't belong to me, and it never will. If I do this right, when I join the ancestors, more people will know the story than before, and that's enough.
So you've clearly been very successful. Why do you think you've been? Where's that coming from? You've got tons of passion. It feels like you're really connected with your mission. But I want to hear in your words, why do you think you've been so successful?
There is a romantic reason and there's a practical reason. The romantic reason for the success is because you have to actually truly believe in what you're doing. And it cannot ever just be about money. If your goal is to make money, become a banker. No one does this to get rich. You have to believe in what you're doing enough to know that you'll lose friends. You have to believe in what you're doing enough to know that it might jeopardize an unstable relationship. You have to know that you will be financially insecure maybe for years. If you don't love this, don't do this. That's the romantic part.
Give me the practical.
The practical part is I'm competing against companies that have the budget of a South American company. There is no middle ground of success here. There's succeed or go out of business. That's all there is. And I've seen too many brands who had good products and good people who just couldn't win in that big financial game. And it's a battle we all fight. I'm still fighting it. There's all of the awards that you can win, but the awards do not move cases. If you don't have a fully integrated plan that has your marketing, that has your distribution, that has your sales, and your awards as the cherry on top, nothing moves. It is literally succeed or go find a day job again. And I am not suitable for a day job at this point in my life.
So Jackie, so where do you start? Like I want to be you.
Oh, no, you
Right?
don't.
Well, I'm okay. Not literally, okay? We're speaking to the audience, okay?
Y'all
There's
don't wanna
someone
be
out
me
there.
either.
There's someone out there that's inspired by your story, that's inspired by your message, that's inspired by your mission, and they want to do something similar. Where do they start?
I have a good version of how to tell the story.
Okay. You know what? I don't doubt that. I'm pretty sure you have a good version of every story.
I'm a storyteller.
I can tell.
I'm a storyteller. Okay, so have you heard people say that starting a business is like jumping off a cliff and you learn how to fly on the way down?
As a 20-year entrepreneur, I have learned how to fly on the way down. Yeah.
I say never do that. You'll die.
Okay.
You'll die.
Yeah. Okay.
This business, it's like NASCAR. Because you start off that guy on the couch watching someone else do it, and you say to yourself, I think I could do that.
Okay.
But in order to prove you can do it, you either have to save up enough money or have someone lend you enough money to buy time on a track and to rent a car. Mm-hmm. Right? That's your friends and family round.
Yeah.
And now you're driving around this track on the little league circuit, trying to get attention. And if you do well enough, you attract sponsorship. Now you're in your Series A round. And now used to be this one guy with this one person, and now you're a team of 200 people, and there's mechanics, and there's aerospace engineers, and there's PR people, and there's finance people, and there's dietitians. And if you win, the whole team wins. But if you drive the car into a wall, that's on you.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what this is. You start off saying, I could do that. But if you don't have $500,000 lying around, you can't even enter the market.
So was that how, did you start with that friends and family sort of round or, okay?
Yeah. I had sort of a storybook first investor. I was literally sitting in a burger joint, turning down a job offer from a former employer because I was explaining to him that I was going to launch this brand. And the person at the table next to us stood up and said, "Are you looking for investors?"
Wow.
Right. I don't know who's writing this movie, but
Disney.
it's hilarious.
Disney.
It's
Call
hilarious. That happened to me.
Have you sold the rights to your story yet?
The story's not done.
It's not done, but there can be multiple movies to that.
The story's just starting to get interesting.
Okay.
But you start off, you try to get as much money as you can, you try to get as much experience as you can, you try to get some direction. And then if you do well in that minor circuit, then you might get called up to the big leagues. Like somebody might see you and you might get funding and you might get the chance to prove that given enough money and enough resources, you can do as well as anybody else out there. I think that's the whole point of this we're a bunch of guys that started with nothing. And we are competing against giants. Yeah. So I'm not just beating the local brand down the street. Diageo's competing in this. Brown-Forman's, there are giant brands competing with money in this. There's nothing Goliath fears more than David and the slingshot. Yeah. That's why we're here.
So there are a lot of people now. We serve the craft distilling community. So we're full of Davids.
Yes.
So I want to know, as someone that's competing with Goliath right now, and hey, you're taking your licks, but you're giving them back too to Goliath. Impart some wisdom to them. Tell them what do you think that you've been doing or your team's been doing right that's helping you to better compete against Goliath?
I've only ever given one talk at ADI. In 2018, I came to this conference and I gave a talk to a room full of distillers called "Nobody Wants to Drink Your Shit." Mm-hmm. And I told 150 distillers, you got your DSP, the TTB approved your license, you put your juice in a bottle. Congratulations. Nobody cares. And that's the heartbreaking truth. Nobody cares. You think you're in the liquor business, but you're not. As of right now, you are in the relationship business. You could have the best juice on earth. If you don't know how to start and maintain and manage and sometimes amicably end, because it's a small industry, relationships, if you are an asshole, no one's putting your bottle in their bag. Nobody wants to drink your shit. So what I tell people is, as much as this is a revenue-based business, you cannot be transactional with humans. Take a minute and, ask how someone's kid did in their baseball game. Ask if, they made it to their girlfriend's dance class.
Yeah.
Ask how their parents are doing. Like, go be a human being. Just go be decent and have a great product. Because if you have a great product and you're a shit person, no one's moving you. But if you had good relationships, even if you do not have the best product, I have the best product. But even if you do, like, people have to want you to succeed.
Yeah.
Go out there and be a decent person. And that's going to get you as far as having a great product will.
Jackie, it has absolutely been an honor to sit down with you. And I could do this all day. In fact, maybe we will if there are cocktails later. But thank you so much for representing. Thank you so much for sharing your truth. And thank you for keep coming here and getting these rings, okay? Tom Brady has
7,
8. So you got some work to do. Okay?
Listen, again, somebody should beat me. My whole thing is, if you're better at something than me, you should do it.
Yeah.
If you're better at me, please beat me. Until it happens, I'm be here.
So for all of the consumers that are out there right now, just like salivating, they're like, okay, I need to get my hands on this. How do they get a hold? Tell me about distribution, all of that stuff. They want your product in their bar.
Sorel Liqueur, distributed in 40 states, 6 countries. The website and the IG are the same. Sorel Official. SOREL Official.
Okay. Jackie, thank you, my friend.
Pleasure.
Really
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. Thank you all for joining us. And I can't say anything more with this guy. Like, he is the show. Matter of fact, we might rebrand this to Voices of Jackie. So don't be surprised. I might get fired. The next episode might just be this guy with a mic. But all jokes aside, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next show.
As we conclude another episode of Voices of Distilling, we want to extend our deepest gratitude to you, our cherished listeners. Your support is the lifeblood of our show, and we are endlessly thankful for each and every one of you. If you've enjoyed our conversation today, please take a moment to rate and review our podcast. It truly helps others discover these spirited stories. And if you wish to further support our mission, consider becoming a member of the American Distilling Institute. As a member, you'll dive deeper into the world of distilling, gain access to exclusive content, be a part of our dynamic annual conference, and immerse yourself in a community where knowledge and passion converge. Visit our website, distilling.com, for more details on how you can benefit from membership and contribute to the vibrant tapestry of distilling. Until our glasses clink again, remember, every drop has a story, every voice a passion. Raise your glass and cheers to the heart of distilling.